The friends and family of Kathy Blahunka are honored to present Kathy's story. A story of resilience, courage, and a commitment to early literacy for children.
If I could describe Kathy in one word, it would be enduring.
Passionate, loving, caring.
Kathy as a person was just an amazing individual. She was very strong, she was courageous, she was just compassionate towards other people, a very loving person towards her family, her children. But she had just this incredible inner strength, and I was thinking about it recently, it was just almost like superhuman. So Kathy grew up in a very small community. I grew up in Warren, in the east side here, Detroit area. And I always called her my country girl because she grew up in Freeland, Michigan, a small town.
Kathy was the oldest of 4 children, 2 sisters, including Sarah, Jenny, and myself. We had a really close family where education was important along with faith. Kathy did have cancer, but that never defined her, and viewed that way, her approach to life really speaks volume about her, her capacity to deal with adversity, and most importantly, that capacity turned her into a survivor, not a victim.
I first met Kathy when I was in 5th grade. We were in the same classroom and we sat next to each other, and we became very good friends quite quickly. And when we were in 6th grade is when Kathy first became very ill. I did not really realize just how sick she was, but after reading many of her letters, I realized, she really went through a lot.
So when Kathy became sick, that was in the 6th grade, probably right around the time when I first interacted with her and first really became a friend of hers. We would sit and we made cards for her. The whole class would make cards for her. So I can remember doing that for Kathy, but never understanding why. That was the one thing about Kathy's illness, is that we were so young and naive at the time that it was, we knew there was something wrong, but we never knew how sick she really was. It became just natural to be able to be a part of Kathy's life and have that be a part of her life, but not define her life.
So initially when she was 11 years old, she was at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So that's about 100 miles from her home. So she stayed there for 6 weeks as an 11-year-old. And she had 23 radiation treatments during that time.
You have to recognize that this came in the early 1970s. That was a time when medicine in general was going through a revolution, and uncertainties outweighed facts. My parents had to make a choice. They sent Kathy to University of Michigan Hospital, and that choice, I believe, saved her life. And as a result, she got 50 years of life that she turned into a beautiful situation. She had this twice, once in early years and once right in the late stages of high school.
When she had her second bout of Hodgkin's cancer, when she was 16 years old, she started chemotherapy at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. So she would have to go down there, and she had treatments for about a 2-year period through her senior year in high school.
And somehow she graduated without people in her graduating class necessarily knowing that she had some special situations across that she had to bear. She was in the National Honor Society, something that's not easy to do. And she took that, graduating at the top of her class, and poured herself into the next steps, which was going to CMU.
When we did finally graduate from Freeland and we ended up at Central Michigan University, that was her opportunity to thrive. Her illness had gone into remission. She was very healthy at that point. She was feeling pretty good, and it gave herself a chance to jumpstart her life. But with Kathy, her drive was towards education. And Central Michigan University is one of the strongest schools in the country with regards to the program. So it was a perfect fit for her.
Central Michigan University is a very special place for our family. I met Kathy there. We were engaged on campus. And in fact, there's over 10 family members that are graduates of Central Michigan University. When Kathy graduated with her teaching degree, there was really not that many teaching opportunities for her. So unfortunately, she had to be a substitute teacher for about a year and a half. She was paid $30 a day to do that. And she didn't give up. She didn't quit. For her, her dream was to be a teacher.
I started working with Kathy in the late 80s, and we taught together. I was a teacher. I taught 5th grade there. And then actually I became Kathy's boss. The relationship was always good. Kathy was a great person. We always got along. We got along as teachers. We got along as principal. But I didn't really feel like I was her boss. I felt like I was her teammate. We were a family.
In the summers, we lived in rural community in Michigan, and the bookmobile would come. And so we'd ride our bike up to the bookmobile and get a stack of books, and I can remember going with her, and she devoured those books. Later in life, she went to CMU, poured herself into the teaching program. She learned how to take those early childhood lessons and turn those into skills that could teach others to read.
It came through. She was her love of reading really imparted that love to the children that she taught.
So I think the biggest thing that Kathy accomplished as a teacher was the fact that she taught over 500 children how to read and write. I would say that's probably her main accomplishment that she had. And most of us probably don't have the patience to work with one child, much less 500 children.
Kathy loved children. We lived in a neighborhood, there were lots of kids, and she would babysit. It probably helped her to make some of the choices she made when she went to school.
The kids loved her. In fact, she was one of the most, if not the most, requested teacher I had in my 20 years as principal. She was awesome. She would spend her free time, many parts of her lunch, working with kids who needed extra help. If the kids went to a special, depending on the special and the child, she may have taken a little bit of that time to help them, but basically whatever she could do, she would do for any struggling child. My favorite story about Kathy is Kathy was teaching next to a first-year teacher. The first-year teacher had a very challenging child that we knew nothing about. Kathy came to me to ask me, would I please add that child to her classroom and take that off the first-year teacher? That blew me away. That she not only cared for her fellow teacher, but she knew in her heart she could do something for this child.
I think Kathy would want everyone to realize that she was a survivor. She wasn't a victim. She was dealt this hand that was difficult to play, but she figured out how to play it, and she survived. So cancer treatment was the ultimate test, but the cool thing was it didn't break her. It didn't. In fact, it made her stronger.
Most people would have given up. But Kathy just had this incredible inner strength that she just kept going. She just worked so hard to try to overcome a really difficult situation that she had. Kathy was an angel here on earth. She had this incredible passion for life.
And I will always remember Kathy with a warm heart and the love that she always had to give to others.
And in James 1:12, it says, "Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who have loved him." Kathy loved the Lord, and she now is with Jesus, wearing her crown, and no more pain, and in a perfect body.
So I'm pleased to announce today that at Central Michigan University, we've created a couple programs to honor Kathy, and the first one is called the Kathleen S. Blahunka Resilience Scholarship Award. and that's an award that's given out annually to a student that has had cancer or currently has cancer or other significant health problem in their lives. We're really hopeful that this scholarship will help students complete their degree so they can go on and become productive citizens in our community. The second program that our family has also created is called the Kathy Blahunka Early Literacy Professional Development Program at Central Michigan University. So this is in cooperation with the Department of Education at CMU, and the purpose is to provide resources for the Literacy Center at Central Michigan so they can provide an annual professional development program for teachers that specifically teach early literacy. And so I'm really excited that we're also able to help with that program, and we think that's going to have a really good impact on the teachers in the state of Michigan and then their ability to help children in their communities.
I would hope that the students that are fortunate to be able to take advantage of the scholarship will be able to move into their lives with the same enthusiasm and passion that Kathy showed.
The scholarship will help students who've gone through a devastating time in their lives, make it easier for them to go to college and pursue their dreams and make them reality. But this will also let them grow and blossom and hopefully become any part of a productive member of our society. Kathy was at the top of her game, and if these kids can get anywhere close to that, it's a huge success.
I miss most her smile, her laughter, but Kathy was definitely my best friend. There's no doubt about it, and I miss my best friend.
To learn more about Kathy's scholarship and the Literacy Center and how you can help, please view the information below.